All right, let's jump right in. Today, Tempus AI just dropped a pretty big announcement that's got the precision oncology world buzzing. They've launched a new AI-powered tool. It's called HRD-RNA, and it could totally change how doctors figure out which cancer treatments will work best for which patients. So we're going to break down exactly what this is and why it matters. So here's what we're covering today. We'll touch on the new algorithm, get into what HRD in cancer actually is, talk about the RNA versus DNA innovation, and then look at the launch details, potential opportunities and risks, and of course, the key takeaways.
Okay, so the big news today is the launch of this thing called HRD-RNA. It's a brand new tool that uses AI to hunt for a specific weakness in tumors, which then helps guide treatment decisions. And the timing here is pretty interesting, right? Tempest has its Q4 earnings call coming up soon, so this announcement is definitely something people are paying close attention to.
All right, before we go any further, the usual but super important disclaimer. Remember, this is all for educational and entertainment purposes. It's absolutely not financial or medical advice. You've got to do your own research and always talk to licensed pros. Okay, so to really get why this new tool is such a potential game changer, we first need to talk about what it's even looking for. It's a biomarker called HRD. So, what exactly is HRD and why is it so crucial in cancer treatment? So, let's break it down. Homologous Recombination Deficiency, or HRD for short, is basically a weakness in a cancer cell. It means that cell has lost its ability to fix a really serious type of DNA damage. A good way to think about it is like the tumor cell has a faulty repair kit. It just can't patch itself up correctly. And finding this weakness is, well, it's everything. Because when a tumor has HRD, it becomes super vulnerable to certain drugs, like PARP inhibitors. These drugs basically push that broken repair system over the edge, causing the cancer cell to die. Now, for years, the way we'd find HRD was by looking for what are called genomic scars. These are basically the permanent marks left on the tumor's DNA, kind of like the evidence of all the past damage it couldn't fix properly. And that, right there, is where the big innovation comes in. Tempus is saying, hey, what if we stop looking at the history and start looking at what's happening right now? This is a huge shift from a static picture to a live video feed. Let's dig into what that actually means. Okay, check out this analogy because it makes perfect sense. Think of the old DNA tests as a car's accident report. It tells you all about the scars, the past damage. But here's the problem. What if the car got fixed? That report doesn't tell you that. It's stuck in the past. But this new HRD RNA tool from Tempus, that's like a live engine diagnostic. It's not looking at history. It's looking at RNA to see what's happening right this second. It gives you a real-time view of whether that tumor's repair kit is actually functionally broken at this very moment.
And how does it do that? Well, this is where the heavy-duty AI kicks in. We're talking about a really sophisticated model that was trained on data from tens of thousands of patients. And it's not just looking at a few things. It analyzes the activity of 1,660 different genes to spot the exact signature that screams, this tumor's repair kit is broken.
So what does this look like in the real world? It's actually a pretty clear process. First, the lab takes a tumor sample and sequences the entire transcriptome. That's just a fancy word for all the RNA. Then, that massive amount of data gets fed into the AI model, which does its thing, hunting for that specific 1,660 gene signature. And what comes out at the end? A simple score, from 0 to 100. If it's 50 or above, that tells the doctor, bingo, this tumor is HRD positive, which means certain treatments could be a really good bet. All right, so that's the cool science behind it, but what about the business side of things? Let's talk about the actual launch and what this means for Tempus in the market right now. You really have to look at the timeline to see what they're building. If you rewind to September of last year, 2025, the platform this whole thing runs on, the Tempest XR, got a key FDA clearance. Now, fast forward to today, this HRD RNA launch is for research use only. But, and this is a big but, Tempest is already saying they expect it to be available for clinical use later this year. So you can see the roadmap they're following here. Now, it's really important to know that this new RNA test isn't replacing their old DNA test. It's actually adding to it, making their platform stronger. See, they already have a DNA test that looks for those genomic scars, which is mainly used for breast and ovarian cancers. This new RNA test is different. It's built to be pan-cancer, which means it's designed to work across a whole bunch of other tumor types, especially ones where those DNA scars just don't show up very often. Okay, so with any big tech launch like this, you've got to look at it from both sides, right? What's the potential upside, and what are the risks and challenges? let's try to get a balanced view. So, on the plus side, the opportunities here are pretty huge. First off, this could find a whole new set of patients who can benefit from these amazing therapies, people who were probably missed by the old DNA tests. The fact that it's pan-cancer, that just blows the market wide open, beyond breast and ovarian. And because it's a live view, it could be a game changer for dealing with treatment resistance. All of this really cements Tempus's spot at the cutting edge of AI in medicine.
But let's not get ahead of ourselves. There are definitely some big hurdles. For one, it's still research use only. Getting through clinical validation and getting the FDA seal of approval, that's a long road. Then there's adoption. You have to convince doctors who are comfortable with the old DNA tests to embrace this new way of thinking. That's going to take a lot of education. And let's not forget the competition. There are big players like Myriad Genetics who already have FDA-approved DNA tests out there that doctors use every day.
All right, let's wrap this up. What are the key things you really need to remember from all this? And why does this announcement actually matter? Okay, so here's the bottom line. Takeaway number one, this is a huge shift from looking at old, static DNA scars to getting a live, dynamic view of what a tumor is actually doing right now. Two, this new RNA-based AI tool could find way more patients who are perfect candidates for these targeted therapies, patients that we're missing today. And three, for Tempus, this just flexes their muscles, showing how they're leveraging their giant library of data and their AI know-how to really push medicine forward. This is a perfect example of how AI is literally reshaping the fight against cancer, right in front of our eyes. If you're into these deep dives on cutting-edge healthcare AI, do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss the next one. But now, I want to know what you think. Drop a comment below. What's your take on these RNA-based tools? Is this the future of oncology? Looking forward to reading your thoughts. Thanks for tuning in.